Hey, quick emergency video. So the OpenAI Disney deal went by recently. So what's going on is that Disney is investing $1 billion into OpenAI to license some of their IPs to OpenAI, but in return they're going to be using the Sora API on their platform in Disney Plus. I imagine other services as well. I think this is a great example of what I was talking about with what was going on with Sooner Udio with the lawsuits, but the eventual settlement out of court in terms of these music labels are going to be working with these AI generated music companies or startups, right? Because where these companies come from, like the companies in the creative field, where they come from is less, they're stealing our art, but more so, how can we make money with our IP, right? Because really, these AI studios, these AI startups need their IP to actually have the cultural influence in the masses, right? So they have that strong code, that they have that angle when it comes to these stuff. It's just they didn't know how to take advantage, because you can't just build your own model that people use. Like, you need the expertise, you need the infrastructure, and they had neither. It makes more sense to work with these companies to make money and invest a couple of stuff in them and then get that out of it and stuff, like try and build it from the ground up. I think that's that's a fair point for a business. I think it's the smart move. What I do think is interesting is going at it from the Sora angle. I guess Sora is the most recent model, the most recent massive impact model that OpenAI has released recently. I know they had the ChatGPT 5.2, but with Sora, that was more of a cultural impact. People are talking about it, but I just don't feel like AI generated videos are at that level where it's as fun. I have the Sora app on my phone right now, and after the first 2 weeks, it kind of loses the glamour of this is interesting, because it's like taking Instagram and saying you can only see one type of content, can only see one type of content on Instagram. Obviously, you're gonna want to use the regular Instagram, right? So I think that's where Sora is, even with the quality of the videos, because if a lot of people are using the videos, they have to kind of put if a lot of people are generating videos, they have to put more restrictions on the quality and stuff like that. I think the better angle would have been to come from the angle of, hey, we have kids who use our platform, we have kids who love our characters. Let's create this thing called fan art. And I think they're eventually going to do this, where it's more so image gen, create your own worlds with these Disney characters. It's kind of like taking Disney Infinity from a couple years ago and saying, let's take it in the artistic angle of where you can now create your own characters and you can now have them interact with our Disney characters. You can create your own comics, and that could be a whole platform in itself. Sell that to kids, sell that to parents. I think that's probably what's going to happen. It's going to cause a lot of uproar with using stuff like fan art. I think it's going to be really interesting. But I do think as time goes on, you're going to see more deals like this with other companies. After Warner Bros. Sells their stuff with Netflix or Paramount, you're going to probably see them do something similar, because they have, I would argue, have more iconic IPs than Disney, but that's up for debate. You're going to see what a lot. So if Netflix is obviously a tech company first, so you're obviously going to see something there. I just don't know what they're going to do, because I'm really interested in how that's going to work in terms of AI services, right? And when I say AI, I mean generative AI, not just predictive. But I think it's interesting. I think regardless of the angle you come at it from, whether it's bad, if it's good, I think it's a time for a lot of people to reimagine what the future should look like, right? I think even with SAG, I forgot their the acronym, but SAG is a union for writers and artists. I think what I would recommend for them is, I feel they're very reactive in terms of when it comes to these technologies. I think the better position to take is to be more proactive and saying, okay, where is this likely going to lead, and where can we kind of redirect it? Because they kind of have the more so cultural impact of what people want to use the technology for, right? So if they can influence the masses like that, I think that's a better angle to take at it from than strongly worded comments, right? It doesn't make sense, because even with the deals they break with some of these the deals they make with some of these big companies, they likely will find a way to break it. They'll likely find something, and they will go, because to them it's how do we make the most money? What they have, SAG, they have the influence. Those companies don't. And I think that's the angle they have to kind of abuse to an extent, but it's really up to them. I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens. Besides, I have nothing else to say, so have a great day.